In the previous lesson, we showed you how we can mount an element into the Vue instance by using EL, so not attaching it to the div ID here, also passing in through some data from our data object and then outputting it within Vue. So when it comes to the Vue instance, we can also create our Vue instance as an object. And sometimes this is a good idea because this gives you the ability to work with this VM container, so variable, whatever variable name you want to use to contain the object of this Vue instance, and we identify it by variable VM equals new Vue, and essentially it's going to work the same way. So even though I've added it in as an object, the VM object, when I go out here and if I refresh it, we can see it's still working the same way. So that hasn't actually changed in any way. But it's given us a container here that's VM that's going to contain that Vue instance. So you're probably wondering, well, what happens if we console log that out? So when I refresh it, now we're going to have that Vue object in our console, and we see that we've got all of that information. So we've got our directives here, and we've actually got some containers here. So we've got children, we've got the elements, we've got the EL, and we can identify these now as well and utilize them within our output within our JavaScript. So we've got our root of Vue, we've got some object information, and we've got some options and so on. And we're going to be looking at all of these as we work through the course. So there's filters, replace, there's directives, there's the EL, element directors, and just a lot of really cool stuff is contained within here. And now we have access to it, and we can actually access it via that Vue instance container object that we've just created. So this is just another way to add some additional functionality and options, especially when you're building out those bigger applications. Adding in this object container for the Vue instance is going to really help you out as you progress through the course. And it's also got some identifiers here, so if we want to output our data, we could do that as well. So just show you how this is going to look. So now when I go through that object here, it can see that I've got my output here, and it's got the hello world too. So if we only want to really look at the data, we can utilize it this way and access it this way as well. And this gives you a better idea of how we can work with this newly created object and actually input information directly in it. And we're going to be showing you some of this as we go through the course in the upcoming lessons.